Look what we have here. We have the Sony RX100 VII. It has a flip-up screen. I've been using this Nikon A900 to film my vlogs. It's a good camera for the most part. I've been using it for probably about 3 years, I think, and I've started to have some issues with it. For some reason, it will just shut down and not start recording when I need to. I'll have to take the battery out, wait a few minutes, put the battery back in, turn it back on, get the lens to close, and then turn it back on again before it'll actually start recording. So I thought maybe it was a battery, but it wasn't a battery. I thought maybe it might have been a memory card. It wasn't a memory card. So it's served me well, and I'll probably continue to use it on and off again. So you can see it does have some battle damage. I got a little nick right here that that happened on Space Mountain. First time I took the camera to a theme park, and it got dinged up on Space Mountain. And then one time we were at a distillery, and unfortunately I wasn't able to record any video there, but I had it on a selfie stick that had like a tripod attached to the bottom of it, and set it up, and I put the screen up so I could see, so I could take a family picture, and that caught the wind and just blew it boom, right over onto the lens itself. So I think the image stabilization's been out since then. So with all that being said, I think it was about time to retire this. Now, I'd been looking at other cameras, doing my research, going on YouTube and looking at everything. I first started looking out at the most common one, which is the Canon G7X Mark II. I looked at that when I bought the Nikon, and it was a nice camera. It had one problem. It didn't focus fast, and it wouldn't hold its focus. So I kind of put it off, started looking at other things. I looked at the Sony A6000, great camera. The only problem is it was a little bit bulkier, and it didn't have a flip-up screen, so I wouldn't be able to see what I was recording. So I wanted something with a flip-up screen. I knew that much. So then the G7X Mark III came out. I was like, this is going to be perfect. This will be a great camera, good price, had a microphone jack, good stability. And then I started seeing the reviews on it, and the focus was even worse than the G7X Mark II. Just couldn't see myself getting that. In that time frame also, Nikon came out with a new version of the A900, the A1000. The big difference between the 900 and the 1000 that I can find is the 1000 has a touchscreen. Some of the drawbacks from the 900 are that when you video record something, you cannot change the settings. They're automatically done. You can't change the ISO, you can't change the shutter speed. All you can do is really change the frame rate. In other words, it could be a 1080-30, 1080-60, or you could go into 4K. I really didn't shoot that much in 4K because my computer is very old and it wouldn't process that stuff. So it was really hard to edit. The 1000, the Nikon 1000, still did not allow you to change things like the ISO, which is important when you're working in a low light situation. The Nikon takes great pictures, and I think that's what Nikon focuses on, taking pictures. It's not really thinking about vloggers or recording videos of any kind. It's just kind of like, here's a point and shoot camera that takes some great pictures. So then I started looking at the Sonys again, trying to figure out what I was going to replace it with. I looked at the 6000, didn't like the screen. Then the 6400 came out. I'm thinking, this is great. This is going to be fantastic. This will be the camera. So a little bit bigger body. You can change the lenses on it, which would be fantastic. The one thing that I didn't like about it is that it did not have in-body stabilization. Put a microphone attached to it, had a microphone jack, but it didn't have in-body stabilization. It was all through the lens, so you'd still get some shake. So what I was looking for in a camera was good stabilization, good autofocus, and good low light. Microphone jack would have been a plus, but it wasn't necessarily a deal breaker for me. So then the 6600 came out, has everything that I would want out of it. It had in-body stabilization, lenses would have stabilization, so you're safe there. You could change the glass on it so that you'd be able to have a really exceptional low light camera, and it had a built-in microphone jack. The body alone was $1,300. And then you're looking at lenses. It would come with a kit lens. Looking at lenses can get pretty expensive. So that's something I didn't really want to get into, was having a bunch of lenses and lugging those around for different situations. And also the A6600 is a bigger camera. It's not huge, it's not like a DSLR, but it's a decent sized mirrorless camera, but it does really great. It's got a great sensor, great focusing, autofocusing. So then I started looking at the Sony RX100. And the more and more I research this, the more I like this camera. I can't say anything bad about this camera at all. I can change the ISO on this. I can do a lot of manual settings on there to make it better in low light than what it was. So I really am happy with this purchase. This is a very small camera. It's about the same size of the Nikon A900. The width is about the same. It is a little bit shorter as far as length of the body. It's a little bit shorter body than what the A900 is, so it's going to fit in the pocket really well. Has a flip-up screen that I like. We have a microphone jack, which is just super, super nice right there. HDMI, and I forget what the other one's called. This other thing, whatever it's called. A lot of functionality built into this camera. I really haven't been enjoying the slow-mo that you can do with this. It's kind of like a 30-second slow motion that you can do. You set the dial on HFR, put your subject in the screen, hit the trigger, and it will show like you're buffering. There's several ways to set it up, but it'll take like a 30-second slow motion, and you can set the frame rate that you want to have it. So I think I have it set it at default at 90 frames per second. You can go to 120. So you can get really, really slow motion videos from this camera. It takes great pictures, lots of manual settings. So if I need to change the frame rate or the aperture or the ISO, whatever it happens to be, I can set this camera to do this, and it will transfer not only for photos, but over to the video, which is one of the drawbacks of the Nikon. It doesn't do that. Really nice camera. Some of the reviews that I've read about talked about how small it is, and there's not really a good way to get your hands around it and hold it. There's no like finger grip right here on the side. So I went out and I found this nice little rig here for the camera. Camera fits nicely into here, creates a little depth for you to grab onto it, and it also adds something that the camera is missing, which is a cold shoe. Great to have a microphone jack, but if you got no way to mount the microphone, then that's kind of a problem. So this is really great. It has a slot in the bottom of it so that if you need to change the battery, you can still access the battery without taking this off. Also, pretty lightweight, made out of aluminum, works really well. Also, I have a Rode Micro shotgun mic, which I could use that also in a splitter, and I can have a couple channels going. So that's fantastic. Sony batteries, I think, are like $35 a piece, but I was able to find through Amazon a thing called New Mawa. That's what it looks like right there. And this actually has 3 ports for batteries, to charge batteries. And it came with 3 batteries that were also in a case, like this. These batteries were included with it. That whole thing cost $20. So I got 3 batteries and a charger for 20 bucks. That is a great, great deal. Even if these don't hold charge as long as the Sony ones, 3 batteries with a charger, 20 bucks. Let's take this camera for a test spin, shall we? There's eye detection right there. I'm a Cyclops. You can't see it, but I got a little black thing around my eye. This is what it sounds like with the Rode Wireless Go mic on it. It doesn't seem to be peaking too much in the audio. Image looks pretty good. Let's see if it finds Debbie and I together. See how you have a little thing around your eye?
Yes.
It's focusing on you.
Is it light and small?
Oh yeah. Do you want to feel it?
How's the image stabilization looking?
It looks fine. Turn to you and look.
Because you know I got super stay hands. Wow, that's pretty good.
So let's go in a darker room and see what happens. Yeah, there we go. There is like hardly any light on me. I wonder what it's like if I go outside. There's none of that walking, jittering thing happening either, which is pretty nice. And that's not bad. It's on auto. That's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to play around with this a little bit more. Look at the tutorials online to figure out how to operate this beast. But this is the RX100 Mark VII. What do you think? Video better? I gotta do a better job of not looking out of the bottom of my glasses. Because I'm looking at this, because I got progressive lenses so that I can see. How's the rolling shutter look? Wow, that locks on pretty darn quickly when I move around. You see the little box? See if it picks you up. So hopefully this will bring another level to the vlog, right? Better.
Hopefully, at least some better quality.
Yeah, and
It's not going to help our cooking skills.
no.
Nothing neat about that.
But at least the camera won't die, and I have to like spend 10 minutes trying to
We hope.
get the thing to work. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, please. Maybe even give it a thumbs up. That might help us too. Tell your friends. And now for something completely different. Bye. I have the 7 and I have the Sessions, which happens to be right here sitting on a little car. I found this at Christmas time. It's a little Hot Wheel. And I've been racing around the house with that. Yeah, I'm just a little kid. Anyway, thanks for watching.